This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now it's 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
And unfortunately, as far too often as what we would like to see, this escalated into gun violence.
A violent weekend in the Circle City keeps Metro Police busy. This morning, the latest on a number of investigations as police try to put a stop to the violence.
A local organization is asking for your help.
Like, people depend on the pantry.
What you can do to keep their doors open to serve the community.
Students are getting a taste of the pharmacy industry before they graduate. Hiring Hoosiers shows you how this unique program is training the next generation of pharmacists.
And are you looking into a home warranty? This morning, why complaints about the service keep pouring in and what you should know so you don't waste your money.
And we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. It is 6 o'clock on our February 3rd.
A new month, a new week, the start of Black History Month, Heart Healthy Month, and I still have the Super Bowl halftime in my mind.
Do you? Still dancing around
I'm
up
still
here.
kind of shaking.
I have a feeling, yeah, you probably had a hard time going to bed last night. You were probably just moving and grooving all night long.
There.
Zumba in his living room.
Well, I had a hard time going to bed last night knowing how nice it was still
Beautiful.
outside and how nice it was going to be today. I was just so looking forward to finally being able to get outside and not feel cold air hit me. Right, Todd?
Yeah.
Sounds like, sure, why not?
Last week, Raphael was talking about a snowblower that he didn't need.
That clearly sat in his garage this weekend.
I thought about him yesterday. I was like, I think Raphael's probably got a smile on his face down there in Johnson County today. And we're going to repeat the temperatures today. We may not have as much in the way of sunshine, but at least we're talking about highs in the upper 50s to low 60s later on this afternoon. So it's a little cool still when you walk out the door this morning, 28 to 41 degrees with a mainly clear sky. The roads are dry, though, across the area, and we're not expecting any rain during the daytime hours today. Late tonight, if you're out, probably closer to the midnight hour, that's when we'll start to run the risk of seeing a few spotty showers. But many of you, especially to the north and off towards the east, start with a good amount of sunshine today, and then we'll increase the cloud cover just a little bit throughout the day, and eventually by the time we get to this evening, we're overcast. But all that snow you see off to our west, you do not have to worry about that. So grab that cup of coffee. You may need it after the Super Bowl last night to get you going. 44 degrees by 10 a.m. already, 53 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. The record high for today is 62. That is in jeopardy later on this afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, it's time for another update on the roadways with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now. Your commute up on the north side. Good morning, Carmel. US 31, a little south here of 116th Street. You can see lots of headlights moving across your screen. Traffic's already picking up for your Monday morning commute. Here's a look right now at I-74 on our Traffic Now map as we plan out your drive times as you're traveling westbound from North London Road to I-465. It's a quick 9-minute drive. No delays here. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads and keep you updated on any delays.
A string of violence in the Circle City keeping Metro Police busy over the weekend. The latest incident happened just before 11 last night near 10th and Rural on the city's east side. Officers were called to a Marathon gas station on reports of a person shot. When they arrived, they found a person with a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital in serious condition. This morning, police are still working to learn what led to the gunfire. And on the west side, a person is dead after an early Sunday morning shooting. This happened on Rockville Road, just east of Holt Road. An officer called to the scene found a person suffering from a gunshot wound. Their identity has not yet been released. Then Saturday night, 2 people were shot and killed on the east side of Indianapolis. Police found a man and a woman dead in a yard near 19th and Abaddon Road. Detectives are trying to determine if the 2 people killed were involved in a disturbance or they were just innocent bystanders. The victims' names have not yet been released. If you have any information in any of these cases, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers.
The time now is 6:04, and happening today, a Greenfield man is set to appear in court in connection to an August crash killing a bicyclist. Court documents show that 40-year-old Robert Terry is expected to change his plea. Police say that Terry was driving a minivan that hit and killed 76-year-old Roger Wellenreiter of Greenfield. Now, following the crash, Terry tested positive for THC. That's the active ingredient in marijuana, as well as methamphetamine. He was driving on a suspended license as well.
The process to decide the future of a valuable piece of property near downtown Indianapolis is getting some help. On Friday, a judge ordered mediation in the lawsuit filed against the city by Ambrose Property Group. The two sides are battling over the site of the former General Motors stamping plant. For more details, you can click on this story in the RTV6 app.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's focus on linking you to jobs, resources, and training. And we're committed to finding ways that education can take you into a career. This morning, our Kelsey Anderson shows us a program at Purdue getting future pharmacists classroom to career ready.
Consulting customers, filling prescriptions, and understanding the ins and outs of how different drugs work. Those are just some of the things students in the College of Pharmacy get to learn while working here in the University Pharmacy, even as first-year students.
I definitely did not think going into my first professional year that I would be actually working hands-on in the pharmacy, but it is something that I felt like is a really great experience for all of the first-year professional students, just to get their toes in the water, get exposed to the common medications that we usually dispense.
The pharmacy program takes 4 years, and in their final year, the students become the teachers, and they guide the first-year students through working in the pharmacy. Both aspects of the working pharmacy can help students decide what path they want to go on after graduation, whether it be retail, research, or teaching. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. You can see this story and all of our Hiring Hoosiers story profiles right now on hiringhoosiers.com.
It is 6:06, a popular tourist attraction up in northern Indiana that provides a glimpse into the life and history of the Amish is going on the auction block later this week. It's not clear if Wednesday's auction will mean that Amish Acres in Napanee will continue in the form it has for the past 50 years. The owners of the property say after 5 decades, they're ready to retire. The attraction draws 150,000 visitors each year.
One Indiana Police Department is being removed from a popular TV show, at least for now. Terre Haute Police tweeted on Sunday this weekend was the department's last appearance on A&E's Live PD for a while. THPD officials say the change is part of the show's rotation of departments. Terre Haute officials say their contract with Live PD is valid through the end of the year.
The time now is 6:07. A dump truck driver is being honored here in Indianapolis for his quick thinking that ultimately saved many lives. You see, back in August, William Honey of Greencastle, he pulled his truck into a construction zone on I-65 near Lafayette Road, blocking a wrong-way driver. The driver was driving in closed lanes approaching construction crews. Honey's quick thinking helped stop the driver as the man crashed into the front of his truck.
My co-worker, she called out on the radio, said, hey, there's a police chase going backwards in the construction zone. And I knew that about 100 yards behind me, there was a paving crew, 2 paving crews going side by side. And so I just, I happened to be the right person at the right time. That's all it really was. So I just put my truck in sideways like a barricade, so that way he couldn't go any further.
A big shout out to him this morning. The state police officer and the construction crew that were there that night attended the ceremony. Huddy says his message for the community is very simple. Slow down in construction zones. Stay alert. Stay off your phone and don't drink and drive.
It's now caucus day in Iowa. The candidates are making a final push before voting begins. I'm Inez de la Quintera in Des Moines, and I'll have all the details coming up.
As you walk out the door here this morning, you're walking out to what we'll call cool temperatures, but the good news is we'll see these temperatures moderate nice and quick once again across the area as we head into the afternoon hours, already up into the 50s by 11 a.m. with partly cloudy skies. It's the best weather day of the week, at least what's remaining of the week. We'll talk about the storm systems heading our way as well, coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now, 6:08. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
At Rally's. Get Rally's delivered.
Well, 1 in 8 people struggle with hunger right here in our state. A local food pantry opened during a difficult time, and now it's celebrating a year of service to the community. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with their mission and more on how you can help. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning. So this pantry actually opened during the government shutdown last year as a way to assist government employees who were impacted. Since then, it's actually kept its doors open, helping hundreds of people struggling with hunger in our community. Now, it's located at the All Souls Unitarian Church on East 56th Street, and it's called the No Questions Asked Pantry. That's where volunteers gathered on Sunday to celebrate the milestone and to sort change they collected in the community. That money helps fund the pantry, which costs between $300 and $500 a week to operate. Making ends meet is always a challenge, but volunteers say it's worth it to keep people in the community on their feet.
It hit, working people the hardest, and we view food as like a basic human right. And so to kind of combat that and supply for those in need, we started the pantry.
The pantry is open to the public Mondays and Fridays from 5 to 7 p.m. And if you would like to donate or volunteer with the pantry, you can do that. We have a link attached to this story on our website. Just go to theindychannel.com and click on this story. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. The time now is 6:13. Here's a look at the stories set to make headlines later today. On Capitol Hill, legal teams will present their closing arguments as the Trump impeachment trial resumes, with time slated both today and tomorrow for senators to speak. The final vote on the 2 articles of impeachment is expected Wednesday afternoon. That's one day after the president delivers his State of the Union address. And after a half century, it is party time in Kansas City. Hail to the Chiefs. The Chiefs beating the San Francisco 49ers in last night's Super Bowl 31-20. It's just the second Super Bowl title for the team. Their first win 50 years ago in Super Bowl number 4. Later today, MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes heads to, of course, Disney World for his team's celebration parade.
Now to the race for 2020 with the Iowa caucuses just hours away. Voters across the state set to have their say in the first crucial contest of the primary season.
As ABC's Inez de la Cuetara reports, the Democratic candidates locked in a tight race spent the weekend making a final push for last-minute support.
After more than 2,000 events, months of campaigning, and millions spent on ads, Democratic candidates gearing up for one final push before the first major voting contest of the 2020 primary season.
There are still some undecideds out there.
Thousands packing events across the state.
The bad news is there's no more room inside. The good news is there's no more room inside. Sounds like to me that Iowa's ready for some big structural change.
Former Vice President Joe Biden drawing what his campaign says was his biggest crowd ever in Iowa.
You set the nation on a path to determine who their choices are.
Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg all locked in a 4-way battle. After trying to make the most of their weekend, the senators in the race now having to leave the Hawkeye state and rush back to the Capitol, where the president's impeachment trial resumes.
I'm asking you to take this over the goalpost for me.
Many of the candidates' closing arguments zeroing in on electability.
We believe we're the best campaign to go out there and beat Donald Trump.
And we win here, we have a path toward victory, and together we will defeat the most dangerous president in modern American history.
But not all candidates are competing in Iowa. There are some, like Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who've decided to focus instead on states that are voting in a few weeks. And as for those senators who've had to head back to Washington, they've all said they plan to be back in Iowa this evening. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News in Des Moines, Iowa.
The time now is 6:16. Here's the latest developments involving the coronavirus. U.S. health officials are vigilant as China has just built a new hospital in the past 10 days to keep up with that health emergency. 7,200 cases have now been reported in China's mainland, and 100 more have spread across almost 30 other countries. The first coronavirus death outside of China is now confirmed in the Philippines. Meanwhile, a Boston man who just returned from Wuhan is the latest case in the United States. Now, U.S. citizens returning from China are subject to a mandatory quarantine of up to 2 weeks.
New York's governor is deploying additional resources to help Puerto Rico. The island is recovering from multiple earthquakes. That as some of parts of the island are still rebuilding after Hurricane Maria. Governor Andrew Cuomo is sending 26 bilingual mental health professionals and 25 building inspectors. The group will leave for Puerto Rico tomorrow. Here at 6:17, though, okay, so we're not tropical status quite yet with our weather, but it's pretty good. The sun was finally shining yesterday. No complaints around here. Break out the drinks with the umbrella, Scott.
Yeah, you know, I know there were a lot of patios out and about that were open yesterday. The Monon was super packed up in the Broad Ripple area, and you had to take advantage. Anytime we're talking about 60s in February, you have to take advantage of it. And today we're right back up there, probably just not as much in the way of sunshine. What you see behind me right now is the visibility map in Delphi School Corporation, now on a 2-hour delay for some fog, but it's just super patchy here and there. This is nothing widespread across the area, but you do notice the visibility in Lafayette down to about a half a mile, just under 1 mile in Kokomo. So if you're in some of these northern locations, just be a little bit careful with that patchy, dense fog. But again, it is not a widespread issue for us across central Indiana this morning. Forecast high 61 degrees. The record high today 62. Whether we get to the record or not, we are well above the normal high of 37. So today might not be as bright and beautiful as it was yesterday, but it's still going to be mild, and it's still going to allow you the opportunity to get out and about. 38 degrees in Indy right now as you walk out the door. 35 in Greenfield. 37 is the current temperature in Bloomington. A little cooler to the north where the skies are a little bit clearer and where we're dealing with that patchy fog. Temperatures hovering right around 29 to 30 degrees. Throughout the day today, we'll go from partly cloudy this morning to mostly cloudy to eventually overcast across the area, but we will be dry with high temperatures getting up close to that 60-degree mark in many locations. The further south you are today, probably low to mid 60s. The further north you are, temperatures probably going to be in the upper 50s. So I just kind of split the difference for the metro area with that high right around 60 degrees. Here are the clouds increasing already across the area, and we'll continue to see these clouds thicken up throughout the course of the day, but we remain completely dry. Heading to Bankers Life Fieldhouse later on this evening as the Mavs are in town to take on the Pacers. Temperatures will be in the 50s. They hold pretty steady this evening. And then for the day tomorrow, when you wake up, you're waking up to temperatures that are going to still be in the 50s. So it's a nice mild start. The problem is as you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll probably have rain showers across the area already. And then we'll deal with these rain showers off and on throughout much of the day as the temperatures fall. So the warmest part of the day tomorrow is going to be during the morning hours. By the afternoon, as the temperatures cool, we're starting to work in a little bit of that wintry mix across the area. Probably not going to see much of anything in the way of issues with that wintry mix for tomorrow evening. The bigger concern will be late Wednesday into Thursday morning, as this system, since it's arriving at night, will have a little more in the way of colder air to work with. And you do notice that there could potentially be a little bit of accumulating snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on for you. There's a lot of variables to be ironed out with that yet, but today, enjoy partly sunny and highs in the low 60s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Our live drive vehicle is out on the roads right now, traveling westbound on 465 here on the northeast side, heading past the area of Allisonville Road. Now, you can see here visibility is good right around central Indiana. Todd mentioned some of those northern areas having reduced visibility, and because of that, we know we have some school delays this morning. Delphi Community Schools as well as St. Joan of Arc up in Kokomo. So keep that in mind if you travel through those areas. Let's take a look at our Traffic Now map right now and plan out your drive heading in from the south side. Traveling up State Road 37 this morning from State Road 144 in Bargersville up to the I-465 ramps. It's a quick 14-minute commute.
The time now 6:21, a setback for a man who's been like a spark plug for the Pacers this season. TJ Warren will not play in tonight's game against the Dallas Mavericks because of a concussion. Now here's the injury and when it happened on Saturday night. Julius Randle of the Knicks drives the lane, as you just saw. Warren, playing defense, falls hard on the floor, hitting his head. He left the game and would not return. So far, the Pacers have not announced how much time Warren could miss because of that injury. The game against the Mavericks tips off at 7 o'clock at Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Well, remember Tom Brady's captionless photo? Or how about Planters announcing they're killing off Mr. Peanut? This morning, we have the answers to both of those bizarre Super Bowl commercial teases.
And do you know your cholesterol numbers? Make an appointment to get your numbers checked to ensure a healthy heart. February is American Heart Month, and each morning here on Good Morning Indiana, we'll share a tip to help you and your family stay healthy. The tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. We'll be right back.
So let's check out what's trending at 6. We talked about this last week. We were wondering about that picture with Tom Brady. Now here is the answer, because now we know that Tom Brady's social media post that caused that online stir that with the caption and the vote without a caption, fueling thousands of people to bring in some confusing comments. Now we know the speculation is over. Was he walking away from the game? Was he staying with the Patriots? Well, we've all been fooled. This was all about a commercial for Hulu. So I guess Hulu gets its money's worth because everyone spent the weekend talking about Tom Brady when it was all about Hulu. There you have it. Hulu. Hulu.
Mr. Peanut, he spent his life bringing people together.
Well, remember when Planters announced they were killing off Mr. Peanut? Well, turns out the tears of the Kool-Aid Man brought the character back as a baby. Aww. Crazy. Mr. Peanut has been the spokesnut for Planters since 1916 as the winning character from a contest. A lot going on in that commercial.
Sounds like a dolphin.
Yeah.
All right, did you catch a Hoosier tradition make an appearance during the Super Bowl? The Indianapolis Motor Speedway aired this commercial during the big game, asking viewers, is it May yet? In case you've lost count, the 104th running of the Indianapolis 500 is 111 days away.
We're almost there.
And it's starting to feel a little more like May outside with the weather that we had yesterday and the weather we'll have today, Tom.
Yeah, you know, temperature's nice and mild. Yesterday, a record high. Today, potentially another one. If we could get up to 62 degrees, we'll tie the record, which, by the way, was set last year, if you remember, that little warm spell we had at the beginning of February. So it's a cooler start this morning, still with temperatures that are in the 30s, so you'll definitely need to bundle up just a little bit this morning. But by the noon hour, temperatures already into the mid-50s. The one difference you will notice if you want to compare, say, today to yesterday, is today there will be a little more in the way of cloud cover across the area, and those clouds will increase pretty quickly this morning, so it's not as bright. But despite the clouds, temperatures still about 61 in Indy, low 60s from Bloomington to Columbus, slightly cooler to the north with highs in the upper 50s.
The home warranties, they're very popular because they promise peace of mind, right, if a major appliance breaks in your home. But many homeowners end up unhappy with their warranty company.
That's right. So working for you, John Matarese shows us one company now facing an attorney general lawsuit for denied claims, so you don't waste your money.
Many homeowners purchase a home warranty, and among them, Choice Home Warranty is one of the most popular. But it's now battling an attorney general's lawsuit and thousands of complaints, and the complaints just keep coming in. Callie Grant needed a new water heater.
It was leaking down through here.
Hers was leaking all over the laundry room floor. So she called Choice Home, her home warranty company. When you called them about the hot water heater, what'd they say?
They said they would not do it. Said the warranty did not cover that.
She was stunned. She had purchased the coverage for almost $500 a year for her
clothes washers, refrigerator, air conditioner, water heater, electrical system.
But even their own plumber's work order didn't help.
He called Choice Home Warranty and they told him that they wouldn't cover it.
Callie says the worst thing is that she still had to pay $60 for the service call just for a man to come out and tell her it wasn't covered under her warranty.
I would pay the service guy $60 to come out, and nothing ever got done.
It's a familiar complaint. Choice Home has thousands of complaints with the Better Business Bureau, and last fall,
the Arizona Attorney General's office is going after the company.
Arizona's AG says contracts actually exclude many items. His suit also says the company promised 24/7 customer service that was swift and timely, but says many repairs drag on for weeks. So we contacted Choice Home, and the company finally agreed to give Callie $500 toward a new water heater. Some home warranties can be worthwhile, but check the company's Better Business Bureau report and Google them for complaints so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. One person is hospitalized after a shooting at an East Side gas station. It happened just before 11 last night near 10th and Rural Streets. Officers were called to a Marathon gas station on reports of a person shot. When they arrived, they found a person suffering from a gunshot wound. That victim was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
Metro Police also investigating a shooting after a person arrived at the hospital with a gunshot wound. Police responded to reports of shots fired. This in the 500 block of North Gladstone near Michigan Street before 9 last night. They were later told that someone arrived at a local hospital suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was last listed in critical condition.
2 suspects are in custody after shots were fired at an Indianapolis police officer. It happened around 7 Sunday morning when an IMPD officer tried to pull over a suspect near East 10th and Tuxedo Streets. That's when police say someone inside that car fired shots at the officer. The officer was not hit and returned fire. No injuries were reported, and police say the driver and passenger in the car were later arrested. The names of those suspects have not been released.
The process to decide the future of a valuable piece of property near downtown Indianapolis is getting some help. On Friday, a judge ordered mediation in the lawsuit filed against the city by Ambrose Property Group. The two sides are battling over the site of the former General Motors stamping plant.
And a project to improve southwestern Indiana's connection to I-69 will be the focus of public meetings. A proposed 4-lane highway would run from the Ohio River city of Rockport to I-69. The Indiana Department of Transportation is working with the Development Authority on a required environmental impact statement that will include federal funding.
It is 6:31, and we want to get a check of our forecast after a beautiful Sunday here in central Indiana. Sort of a repeat expected today, Todd, but we do have some fog in northern areas causing just a few school delays this morning.
You know, and that fog is very, very isolated. It is not a widespread issue, but if you are traveling in northern locations there, just know it can come on you pretty quickly, especially if you are driving on the interstates at a higher rate of speed. Delphi, Lafayette, Kokomo, that's some of the places where we are dealing with those visibility issues here this morning. Otherwise, here in the metro area, points to the south, no issues whatsoever. What do you need to grab before you go this morning? Well, grab the sunglasses. We won't have as much in the way of sunshine today as we did yesterday across the area, and the best bet is earlier than later today for the sunshine. And the medium weight jacket. Temperatures right now are currently sitting generally anywhere from about 28 to 38 degrees, depending where you are. So we'll just split the difference with your hourly breakdown throughout the duration of your morning commute, with skies that'll be partly cloudy this morning, but the clouds are already starting to increase across the area. So while you do see the clouds, you don't see any precipitation. That is the good news throughout the day today. It will remain completely dry, even though the temperatures will be into the 50s and 60s across the area. It won't feel probably quite as good as it did yesterday because of the lack of sunshine, but anytime you're in the 50s and 60s this time of year, you cannot be picky. 63 today in Bloomington as well as Columbus, a little cooler to the north with high temperatures in the 50s. We'll talk about the fog in more detail and look ahead to some wintry weather by the middle of the week coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes. But right now it's 6:32. Let's get you updated on the roadways.
Todd, thank you. Right now we're tracking our live drive vehicle on I-465 southbound on the northwest side, driving near 86th Street, where you can see we have open roads. Everything here is traveling up to speed. We'll continue to keep you updated on any crashes or issues around the area. Right now everything is moving along smoothly. Again, you can check school delays on the RTV6 app.
The time now is 6:33. Hiring Hoosiers is our focus on linking you with skills, resources, and jobs. And we are committed to finding ways that education can take you into a career.
This morning, our Kelsey Anderson joins us from Purdue University to show us how they're getting ready for your future pharmacist ready, classroom to career.
Well, students in the College of Pharmacy get to work here at the Purdue University Pharmacy, where they get real-world experience into retail.
Purdue University Pharmacy. This is Maddie, student pharmacist. How may I help you today?
You just kind of threw us right into it, and it's been a learning process ever since.
For first-year pharmacy students like Natalie Kinsler, learning in a working pharmacy isn't something she thought she'd be doing fresh into pharmacy school.
I felt like it's a really great experience for all of the first-year professional students just to get their toes in the water, get exposed to the common medications that we usually dispense.
Clinical instructor Alan Farkas says they have some students who come into the college with no experience in a real working pharmacy, and being able to work here gives them confidence.
They're so unsure and very nervous in the beginning of the semester, then by the time they're done, they know what they're doing. They're confident and interacting with patients, answering the phones, and discussing medications.
It's a great opportunity to create good habit.
But it's not just first-year students who are getting to learn new things. As a fourth-year student, Casey Bernier gets to be the teacher and put her knowledge to the test.
In order to teach anything, you have to know it very well so that you can teach it to others. So I'm very interested in teaching anyway, so that's why this was a great rotation experience for me. But even those who aren't interested in teaching, this is such a good, it gives me good feedback and it helps me to know what I do know and what I don't know.
Farkas says he believes it's a rewarding experience for the soon-to-be graduates.
They get a chance to mentor these younger students. They are able to pull everything together that they've learned over the past 3 years and explain it to someone else who's at the beginning stages.
Once students graduate from the College of Pharmacy, there are several avenues they can take. They can get into retail, they can get into research, or they can get into teaching. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. Another great way of connecting classroom to career. You can see this story and all of our Hiring Hoosiers profiles right now on the RTV6 app, as well as our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
A jury trial is scheduled to begin this morning for the woman charged with killing a man and his infant nephew last August. Ivory Smith is charged with murdering William Wilson Jr. and his 3-month-old nephew at a home on Guilford Avenue. Her trial was originally scheduled for November of last year, but was pushed to today. Court documents say Smith told police she and Wilson were engaged and she shot him during an argument. Smith said she, quote, just snapped and didn't know there was a baby in the room she fired into. Wilson's mother was also shot.
The Indiana State House is set for a big day today. It'll be the first ever LGBTQ State House Day. The event will bring together members of the LGBTQ community, service providers, and community organizations. Legislators will also be on hand to discuss the needs of those Hoosiers. Today's event runs from 10:30 this morning until 2 o'clock.
The time now is 6:36. The party, as you can imagine, is still going on this morning in Kansas City as the Chiefs are celebrating their second Super Bowl title in franchise history. Things were not looking great for the Chiefs for a little while, though. The teams were tied at halftime, but the 49ers quickly took the lead. A former Purdue star, Raheem Mostert's 1-yard touchdown run gave them a 20-10 lead going into the fourth quarter. After that, it was all quarterback Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Mahomes passing to Damian Williams for a TD, and then the running back took one more to the end zone before the game's end. Kansas City with the final 31-20. 24-year-old Patrick Mahomes was named the game's MVP, Most Valuable Player. Congratulations to Kansas City.
An Indianapolis food pantry says they are in need of your help. What you can do today to make sure everyone in the Circle City has a meal to eat. We'll be right back. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. It's something you may not think about, but 1 in 8 people right here in Indiana is struggling with hunger.
Because of those numbers, a local pantry opened during a difficult time. Now they're celebrating a year of service right here in our community. Arlissa Donovan is live this morning, and I'm interrupting you with their mission and how you can help.
I'm just so excited to hear about their 1-year anniversary, Alyssa, and what other Hoosiers can do to help out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways to help. The pantry operates here out of the All Souls Unitarian Church. It's just off of East 56th Street on the city's northeast side. And the pantry was opened just after the government shut down last year as a way to assist government employees. Now, since then, it's stayed open, helping serve hundreds of Hoosiers who are hungry across the state. Now, the No Questions Asked Pantry held an event over the weekend called Change for Change, a celebration of their first year serving people who live on the northeast side. Volunteers collected change and then met here at the pantry. They rolled dimes, nickels, quarters, and pennies, and the money collected will help fund their mission, defeating hunger in central Indiana. Right now, just over 13% of Indiana residents are food insecure, which means they don't have access to healthy food. The No Questions Asked Pantry is one of several in our state working to help decrease those numbers. Volunteers tell us that making ends meet to keep the pantry operating is always a challenge, but it's worth it to keep people in the community on their feet.
It hit, working people the hardest, and we view food as like a basic human right. And so to kind of combat that and supply for those in need, we started a pantry.
Now, the pantry is open to the public Mondays and Fridays from 5 to 7 p.m. And just like its name, no questions are asked if you do come to the pantry in need of food. Now, if you want to donate to the pantry, it does cost them about $300 to $500 a week to stay in operation and to continue serving the community. So we have put a link on our website. You just have to click on this story if you'd like to donate or volunteer for this cause. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 6:42. A multi-million-dollar project to provide safe place for people transitioning out of homelessness on the city's west side is making progress. Back in November, we told you about the plans to build a tiny house village on South Lyndhurst Drive near Morris Street. The land has sat vacant for 9 years before Pastor Ben Wakefield with Lyndhurst Baptist Church stepped in. The church donated the land to Circle City Village, a tiny home community aimed at helping people transitioning out of homelessness take the next step in their plan. The plan here was to have 28 tiny houses inside of a gated community with on-site security. But in order for this project to move forward, the zoning and developing process is going to cost money, and so they first need to raise $10,000.
Taking new steps to stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus. The restrictions now in place for people flying into the United States from China.
And if you're looking for a romantic way to spend your Valentine's Day, we have the perfect option. Coming up just after the break, we have your chance to win tickets to see the Indianapolis Ballet live on Valentine's Day. But first, let's check in right now with Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. It's not a huge issue this morning, but there are a couple school delays for just a few isolated patches of fog to the north. One around Kokomo up towards Peru. The other one's in Lafayette over towards the Delphi area. If you're in this area, use a little bit of caution. Other than that, it's going to be a beautiful day for us with potentially record high temperatures. More on that and the rest of your work week's forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now, 6:43. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get rallies delivered.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:46, and U.S. travel restrictions are now in place to try to contain the coronavirus. They began Sunday evening, and they bar foreign nationals from entering the United States if they visited China in the previous 2 weeks. U.S. citizens are also facing restrictions. Those who enter the U.S. after visiting the Chinese province of Wuhan at the center of the outbreak will be quarantined now for 2 weeks. Those who've been elsewhere in China will see extra screenings. The TSA is starting new security directives as well. They require airlines to ask all passengers booked on flights from outside of the United States if they've been to mainland China in the last 14 days. Citizens who have recently been there will have to go to one of 7 gateway airports like Chicago's O'Hare.
It's 6:47. Firefighters continue to work around the clock in Australia as they're battling a number of brush fires. People living around the capital city of Canberra were warned that it's now too late to leave and they should try to seek shelter from these fast-moving flames. This morning, the fire is still not under control, but the flames thankfully did not reach the capital's southern suburbs. The hot and windy weather in the region is fueling the fires. There is some good news, though, as rain is expected to arrive in the area this week.
We've got some good news here in our weather department. Meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by. Todd, are you covering up a great number behind you?
No, I just haven't hit the button yet. You want to see it?
Yes.
There you go. So 62 degrees, that is the record high temperature for the day today, and it was set back last year, so it hasn't been standing that long. But we will have the potential, I think, to get to this number today, making it 2 days in a row that we could potentially set a record high temperature. We did it yesterday when we got up to 63 degrees. The difference, yesterday we had a lot of sunshine. Today we're going to have more in the way of cloud cover, but still, anytime you're in the 60s, no matter whether it's sunny or cloudy in February, you're doing A-OK in my book in the weather department. So we have these two areas of patchy fog to the north, and that is it from Peru down into Kokomo, and then over in the Lafayette area. Visibility there has come up just a little bit. It's not an issue anywhere else, but there are a couple school delays here in northern locations, so make sure you check those on the RTV6 app or the IndyChannel.com or just with your school corporation. Outside right now in Indianapolis, visibility unlimited. 38 degrees is the current temperature. The wind's out of the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour. And it's cool this morning still, so you definitely have to have the jacket handy with temperatures that range anywhere from 29 to 45 degrees across the area. It's 36 in Columbus right now. And throughout the day today, the clouds will increase. They'll become thicker and thicker as the day goes on. But the temperature still gets up to right around 60 degrees. So it's very, very mild. And you already see these clouds starting to increase. These are initially some high, thin cloud cover, but they'll continue to thicken as the day goes on. And that is going to lead to the potential tomorrow of some rain. In fact, not the potential, it will rain tomorrow. As you can see, our rain percentage is pretty high already, even in the morning hours. So throughout the day tomorrow, we're talking about temperatures that will be in the 50s to start the day tomorrow, and then we'll continue to see the clouds increase, and the showers will be with us by the time we get to tomorrow morning's commute. So it's a pretty rainy day for us during the day tomorrow. We're not looking at heavy rainfall, but it's just one of those days where you're just constantly going to need to have the umbrella handy from start to finish. And then we get a little bit of a break the first half of Wednesday. Wednesday night into Thursday, though, another storm system heads our way, and that one will have more wintry weather. So tomorrow, for the most part, we're dealing with mainly rain throughout the day until the end. This is now Wednesday evening for the evening commute, and this is going to be something we'll have to watch, because you notice it's a mixed bag of precipitation that is coming in. So it could be snow to the north, a mixed bag to the south, but Wednesday evening's commute could be a little slick across the area. So by far the best weather day is today. Get out there and enjoy it. Increasing clouds, temperatures into the 60s, rain showers off and on throughout the day tomorrow. That high of 53 is occurring in the morning hours, and then Wednesday night into Thursday, yet another storm system that brings us that wintry mix. And then looking ahead to the weekend, it's cooler, more seasonable, but it looks to be fairly quiet at this point. Lauren.
All right, Todd, we will enjoy today. Here's a live look right now as you're heading out to start your Monday on the roads from our live drive vehicle. You can see our live drive vehicle is on the east side, westbound lanes of I-70 here near Emerson Avenue, where traffic is picking up, but everything's traveling smoothly. No problems to report around the metro area. You can see traffic is still moving though, so we'll continue to keep an eye on those roads and keep you updated.
If you went to a Super Bowl party last night, there is a good chance some guacamole was on the table. Well, did you know that the avocado craze that hit a few years ago is sending more and more people to the hospital for hand injuries? That is according to a study published in the American Journal of Emergency Medicine. Researchers compared hospital records for avocado-related injuries dated nearly decades apart. In 1998, there were 650 avocado injuries, and in 2017, there were 6,000. The study says it mostly stems from people trying to remove the pit with a knife and then catching their hand on it. Ouch. The majority of patients were women aged 23 to 39. What can we say? We love our avocados.
I know, we do.
All right, during the halftime show last night, Shakira and J-Lo rocked the stage at Super Bowl 54. Just after the break, the moment that has the internet talking and laughing this morning.
And now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Right now is your chance to win 2 tickets to see the Indianapolis Ballet's performance of Love is in the Air, Ruby's, Aenea's Song, and Tango Forever. The show is set for Friday, February 14th, a great Valentine's Day gift for someone special. All you got to do is be the 6th caller right now. The phone number's on your screen, 317-269-1459. Good luck. We'll be right back after this short break.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Super Bowl 54 wasn't just about the game. The halftime show featured two women taking over the stage. Shakira kicked things off with a flurry of dance moves, going through some of her biggest hits. And then my friend Jennifer Lopez from the Bronx, the BX, that's my hometown, folks. She performed one of her own. Come on, where's J-Lo? There she goes. Still no J-Lo. At one point, she even shared the stage with her 11-year-old daughter. There's J-Lo, and her daughter also performed. The two superstars also fulfilled their promise to emphasize diversity. During the event, Lopez wrapped herself in the American and the Puerto Rican flags. There's Puerto Rico, on the other side was the American. It was a nice halftime show.
And there was one moment with Shakira during the Super Bowl halftime show last night that is sweeping the internet this morning. It happened right in the middle of her performance, and you just need to take a look for yourself. Sometimes, what? You guys, as you can imagine, that moment just sent Twitter into a frenzy last night. You can expect to see it all over the internet today.
I've seen people Snapchatting this.
Well, I saw it on Instagram, and I didn't know what the heck it was until just now.
Show, yeah.
I was
there you go.
For the halftime
Well, since
show.
I am the resident Hispanic on the set, that's the call for more sunshine in Spanish.
Oh, okay. So are you going to do it right now?
I am not, but that is the official call for Todd Clawson to have 62 degrees for a couple more days. Todd, come on.
Tomorrow will be mild in the morning, but today's the last 60-degree day we have in a while. We'll start off with some sunshine here, then increasing cloud cover. Enjoy the day today in that high of 61, because going forward in this forecast, tomorrow rain returns. It's a pretty wet day for us. Umbrella will be needed from start to finish. And then Wednesday into Thursday, that's when the wintry weather returns with a mixture of rain and snow and some potential accumulation for the Thursday morning commute.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us. We're going to be back right here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app. I'm sorry, I'm just envisioning you doing Shakira's move there.
We're going to work on the Shakira sound to bring more sunshine to Central Indiana. You have a great day. Good Morning America is next, right here on RTV6. We'll see you tomorrow morning.